And even when someone wants to insult you, they'll tell you, unakaje ka una moods kama uko na periods. Yeah, they have
ni ukweli huyo kuna tana huyo ananyesha
tana ule.
That is a very common
so that
phrase.
is period shaming. Yeah. And
it's
yeah,
no longer common. That is period shaming.
So she decided to confide with me that she's in her menses and she doesn't even have pads. It is not that the parents were not well off. Msichana, she's not even free to talk to the mother.
Exactly.
So hezi ambia mama yake. So these boys are doing trial and error. You know, they are doing what their fathers are doing, their uncles, their cousins, their brothers. And if those brothers are doing the wrong thing, they will do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Ati forehead yako iko na forehead pia.
Huyu mwingine anasikiza reggae.
Stop mid-stroke. Tell the shorty to subscribe, man.
That's genius.
What?
Thoni oh. Ni kati ya wasa HR basi.
Na archaeologist.
Unaona wanajua kwa poa.
What's up? Hi guys, it's the Zoza Podcast and I'm Muthoni
Farii. Welcome to another episode.
Yes.
Today we have amazing guests from Girl Aid Foundation. Tuwapatie chance to introduce.
Yes, thank you so much, Zoza. They always say ladies first.
Yeah.
I will go first. My name is Beth Warogoro.
I'm
the director and the founder of Girl Aid Foundation. And thank you for having me on the show.
Welcome.
You're very much welcome.
Asante.
So my name is Chege I'm a partner with Girl Aid Foundation. We have been working with them for the last 3 years. And so far so good.
Wow.
And I'm excited to be here.
very interested to hear your
Thank
perspective,
you
like a man's perspective on this conversation.
Are you ready?
Sindio?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready is an understatement.
Yeah.
If you can familiarize us, well, who is Girl Aid Foundation?
Well, Girl Aid Foundation is a normal, just a local community-based organization that was formed to support young girls with period products. Initially, it was just like a small group of girls. You gather them, you tell them about periods, you tell them what to expect about their changing bodies. We used to focus in primary schools, but eventually, as time went by, we realized there's much more than meets the eye. So we went a notch higher and decided to do it in high schools because whatever they needed was much more than a tangible or physical need. They also needed a bit of mentorship. They needed a bit of like showing them the way and so many other things, but in high school. So we incorporated giving sanitary, and we realized those ones are the most affected ones because the ones in primary schools can be able to talk about what they're going through to their parents, but these ones will feel ashamed and embarrassed. So they'll end up using products that are unhealthy during their menses. So we said we are giving girls dignity and keeping girls in school and also mentoring the girls. So they say every day is a learning day. So we also realize our boys are also, when we talk to girls about the menstrual issues and the girls' issues, the boys are peeping in the windows. Yeah. So I brought on board a friend and a mentor. I call him a coach. So the reason he's here, he's in charge of the boys. So when you gather girls around and talk to them about pads, he also talks to the boys. They say, show a man what, like the man-on-man talk. Yeah. So that's what Girl Aid Foundation is all about.
Interesting.
Sure.
So the guys are really open-minded about it.
101%.
We usually leave the guys out. It's like they don't exist in these issues.
See, they don't exist. Ni wao pia vile wana behave probably when you're on your period or when you mention a period. Inakani kama it's a very huge thing. Yeah. I mean, it happens to every woman. So na si ati tumechagua ikuwe hivyo, una get? So even the way they react to it ndio nakufanya maybe these guys are not interested. Acha na hao, una get?
Yeah. Yes. But knowledge they have to know because they're going to be fathers. I mean, when did Girl Aid Foundation begin?
Girl Aid Foundation is an old foundation, like in terms of registration. We registered as far as behind 2014, but we became to be in real operation around 2016, 2017 there, 2017. So that's when we would gather small girls through the help of friends. Like maybe Muthoni would buy me pads for 1,000 shillings. It was something very new to talk about periods, and I've just heard about you to say that men, the way they carry themselves. So when you visit our Facebook page, you'll see we have a hashtag giving girls dignity, hashtag end period shame, and hashtag end period stigma. We don't want girls to be stigmatized because of their periods. So we recently even went to a school and told the boys, like, do you know how the pad looks like? Hawako wanataka kushika. They were afraid. They didn't want to touch it. So we told them now it's time. We had girls this side and boys this side. And we told girls to say, my periods, my pride. Yeah. They were so happy. So then we told boys, say her periods, her pride. Don't talk about. So that's when I brought Mwalimu on board and told Mwalimu, I will talk to these boys and give them pads. So maybe like, tell us his story about how his journey.
I think I think the issue of periods is a societal problem. Especially women. Since we were boys, there's a perception that was put in us, like periods are something which is so bad. It's yuck. Like when a girl is in her menses, like she needs to be away from the society. So I think it's a societal problem and also an educational problem. Because we could, if boys in, let's say, in the lower levels of learning are educated and they understand what the menstrual cycle is, you know, it will be easier even when we get to our age, when you even have girlfriends and wives, you know, we will have appreciated the process along the way. Sure. But you see, there's no one actually to sensitize boys. Because when Beth is talking to the girls, how I would talk to the boys about menstruation is very different from how she would talk to the boys. There's a way they will understand me more. And they will say, there's a person who looks like they have their life together and they are talking so positive about, you know, periods and stuff. So I think it's an issue of information, lack of information. And you see, even for me, at my age, I have been a teacher for this is my 14th year as a teacher.
Wow.
So I have interacted with teenagers of all levels. I've interacted with girls who are in class 3, class 4, class 5, class 8, Form 1 up to Form 4. So I know I have quite interacted with the girls and I know what they go through during that time. Yeah. So if we were informed, if we preach this gospel as early as when these boys are young, you know, when we get to our age, we will be able now to set the pace. Yes. So that these girls are not stigmatized. I teach in a Muslim environment and there's a lot of stigma. I was actually sharing with Beth on our way here and I was telling her, you know, when girls are in their menses, they can't pray. Hawezi sali. So they are usually set aside.
That's mean.
They are usually set aside when the others are praying because they are classified as unclean. So I was telling Beth, sometimes I usually get to that class where they're usually housed. And all of them even hide. They hide their faces. They don't want me to see that they are in their menses. What? But you see, I have taken it as an initiative. I usually go there tunapiga story. I tell them, nini munajificha nini? This is normal. Coincidentally, what we are learning in class is something that they can relate because I teach biology, so I science, so I explain to them the stages. So even when now they start understanding through the stages, even the boys are like, okay, so this is something which it's a process, you know? So actually we need to work with these girls. You know, they start appreciating. So I think the issue of information is what is ailing us. The stigma that is there. I don't blame men, sana. I blame their background, the information. There's a lot of misinformation and lack of information. Misinformation and lack of information. Yeah.
Kulikuanga ni ile kitu tulikuwa tunasoma primary, that lesson yenye ilikuanga tunaambiwanga about sex, it was basically
life skills.
Yeah, mbona hatukuwa tunafunzwa kuhusu periods?
See,
like why was it an awkward situation? Mbona hatukuwai like in primary mbona haikuwa naongelelewa like even when the boys are present, it was always about just don't have sex. That's it.
That's true.
I
That's
wish
true.
they
But I
could
feel like
be informed,
sisi
you know?
walimu walikuwa wanachia wazazi kazi, wazazi wanachia walimu kazi, so tunapotea hapo katikati. That is exactly what happened.
Yeah, because even when I, like me, my perspective, when I got my first period, I felt like, I imagine I even hid from people that day. And I was in primary. I felt so ashamed. I felt weird. So I didn't want to share with anyone because I was not ready in Akuja, unaget. But then I just told one person and she was like, are you okay? Like, twende to washroom, ndakusaidia nini. But me kwa akili yangu ninajua like, bas, disaster.
You're done.
Disaster.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm finished. Ni hapa. You know?
Hey, me when I got my first, because when I got my first period, I was happy.
Oh.
Wow, I thought I was a boy.
You feel like I'm becoming a woman.
It came late. But I was convinced mimi sitapata. I didn't know kuna watu wengine, kuna late bloomers.
Yeah, early
Mimi
bloomers.
sikuwa najua bas keboy.
unafurahia unasema wa nimekuwa a woman now, acha
Sure,
sasa ukae 1 week later.
And you see, now you see whatever you are talking about, you are a lady. You can imagine at that time you didn't know that you have late bloomers. I didn't know. Now you can imagine to us men. Sasa wewe ndio unafaa ku experience. Sisi hatujui, sisi tuko wapi. You know? So it is about information. Lack of information and misinformation.
Yeah.
We also have that hashtag, her first period, because we want girls to have exciting first time stories.
Yeah.
We don't want to be traumatizing. We don't want it to be like, you know, now sasa what will I tell my mom? And you know, back in our days, you are late. You're the other generation. I belong to the millennials. Huh? I'm 40 years old, by the way. So,
You don't look 40.
I knew I would get that anyway. Thank you. I get that a lot. But our parents would just tell us one word, jichunge mimba. So you wonder, how do you, what is the relationship between your periods and pregnancy? I mean, do you just sit down and get pregnant?
Yeah.
They don't congratulate you. I've seen YouTube and blogs where we have cakes for girls who have started their periods, like, congratulations, welcome to womanhood. So recently with my colleague here, Mwalimu Chege, I call him Mwalimu Chege, we had an event in December. You'll just check us through our socials and see. We had a period party. And and you know, funny enough, I put it in the group and my friend was asking, dress code ni gani? You know, they thought it's a real party. So I told them, see, Evo, it's girls who, you know, girls that have finished class 8 and the ones that are finished grade 6. We are collecting them together because their fellow boys are going through the male initiation, circumcision, and someone is also collecting them together and telling them how to be a man. Where can we also take these ladies as women and put girls together and also tell them how to be a woman and what to expect to a changing body. So we called it a period party. We had quite a number of turnover. Around 300 girls showed up.
Wow.
So many others were young, others were big, others were grown up, and even ladies who were helping us cook there, they told us, you know, it was also a learning experience for them. Wow. They've never had what we told them about their bodies. They even live in their bodies for 45 years and they didn't know how their bodies operate. So it was an eye-opener for them, and it's also an eye-opener for the society. And someone keeps on asking me, today you have 100 menstruating girls and you give them pads and go. You know, one of the challenges we face is we are not sustainable. But just as Mwalimu said, misinformation and lack of information, you'd rather use a tissue paper, but you're well informed about your body and you know who you are and you know the changes of your body, than just being into a shell of unknowing and not knowing what to do and how to do it and how to maneuver and, you know, walk around your body and your periods and still not be able to afford period products. So once we give them information and leave them how they get the period products later on and how they're able to access them, they'll access them from a point of knowledge and a point of knowing what their bodies are about, what period is all about, and what exactly to expect.
That is very, very true.
Interesting. I have just a random Q&A. You know, like sai kwenye country ko kila kitu ni tough, yeah?
Sure.
Have you seen the high prices of pads right now? Oh my God. Kwanza ili happen, I think, juzi tu ndo prices zili hike
beginning
like
of the year.
A very huge difference. You can feel the pinch, and it's not that you chose to be like that, but prices are sanitary towels sai, it's even It's sickening, jameni, government. Kila kitu mnatufinyilia hadi huko.
Hizo ni
Like,
vitu za
hiyo ni
kunyima
vitu ya
watu.
lady.
Kunyima watu. It's so expensive. Mi na complain na niko na means ya ku-afford. What about the person who can't afford that?
Sure.
Anaishi aje, you know? And it's sad, man.
Very. It's very
So we are torn between. There's quite a big debate between the reusable and the disposable ones. I have quite a number of the disposable ones at home, but once I take them to schools,
reusable.
yeah, reusable,
Wow.
reusable, yeah, reusable are the ones you wash. I wish you told me to come with quite to carry them.
Yeah.
So you are a young girl who is 14, 15 years old. You have been given the reusable ones, 3 or 4 of them. You're supposed to, during break time, once this is filled up, you take it and fold it, put it somewhere in your bag, and then go with it home and clean it up. So we're in a circle of so many problems. Lack of sanitary, how to dispose the disposable sanitary towels, how to access and to be in a position where we can be able to sustain the girls in terms of sustainability, and of course the issue of the reusable ones. So the teacher was telling us, you can imagine having 3 or 4 girls with used pads in the class. It's going to be smelly, it's not going to be fresh. That is number 1. Number 2, this is a girl who cannot afford to buy sanitary towels for 50 shillings. So you're telling her to also to look for soap and a lot of water. When you look at the tube and YouTube and the videos around you need the reusable one, they say 1 liter of water is enough. I did that practically. It was not enough. You need much more water to clean and to rinse it and to hang it until it dries up completely.
Don't they feel a bit embarrassed? Like, imagine being in a washroom and then you just found
No,
washing.
you'll not wash it in a washroom. You'll go with it home. So when you're washing your clothes, you'll keep it aside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is
What do
my
you think,
first
Mwalimu,
time
about the
hearing
disposable?
this.
Okay, I remember.
I also didn't know.
I remember there's a time Beth she just messaged me akaniuliza what is my opinion about that,
Yeah.
and I was very blunt. I think that's unhygienic. You get the point, eh?
Yeah.
It's quite unhygienic. So that girl takes the used pads at home, washes them. You can imagine
How the bag
disposing
smells.
the after washing,
Water.
you know, that water. Where are they going even to get that water? Now, this is my opinion. You see, it is an issue of, for me, it's an issue of governance.
Yeah.
Think about it. In Kenya, we have a woman rep
Yeah.
in every county. What is their work?
Affirmative action
Wanakuja
fund.
kupeana maji na
Ya
t-shirts.
kufanya nini?
Saa
ya
ya maandamano. Ja kupeana maji na t-shirt.
I think the
You're
woman
very
rep
proud.
has more duties than to give free sanitary
Like,
towels.
I think, but no, this is what I think. I think it is an issue of legislation.
Yes.
These women, they don't even have to give the pads. Let them introduce motions in
Systems.
parliament.
Yes.
We create systems where these girls can easily access. They either subsidize their prices or they make it easy for foundations like Girl Aid
Yes.
to get these pads,
Yes.
you know,
Give them
to distribute. If they cannot distribute, make it easy for us.
Yes.
We will
Very
take
true.
them hata to Turkana mahali zinahitajika.
sure.
Kweli.
You know,
Very, very
so it is. I think it's an issue. It is not that the government cannot afford to say that schools will be given pads for free. Let them not even say that. Empower the people who have taken that initiative. You can't do it. Empower the people who are doing that.
Else will.
Yeah.
You know.
True, that's very true. Even last year there was this I think she's an MP or something. She was period shamed.
Oh, the lady,
yeah.
the nominated senator.
Hiyo alikuwa ameweka billboards huko.
Huyo
Ah.
after kutokea billboard alifanya nini ingine?
Nothing much.
She was just chasing clout with periods.
That
This
is
is
very
nonsense.
sad. That is very sad. Considering you're a woman, you understand this firsthand.
Sure. Then there's all, I don't know if you've seen, you know, when I talk about pads, I talk about all the period products anything that a girl can use. Then I don't know if you've seen a Ruby cup.
Yes, yes.
The Ruby cup is there, but from research that has been done, it's not suitable for young girls because they say it breaks virginity. It goes up to where the hymen is. That's where it's supposed to reach, and you leave it there. It is very sustainable. It is very good to the ladies that can use it. Then once it is filled up with the period, you remove it. You empty. You clean it up. You can even boil it, and you keep it. Its lifespan is over 4 or 5 years.
Oh wow.
So we have 2 types. You have one that is smaller when you not on a heavy period, and we have that one that is big. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Speaking on period shaming, what really is period shaming?
Period shaming is basically when you see a fellow girl, a young girl that is seated in front of you as a boy or as a fellow girl who is behind there and has messed up her dress. Instead of telling them that, excuse me, your dress is messed up, it seems like it's that day of the month, and you're able to, you just messed up.
Yeah.
So you start like laughing at them, like huyu hajijui, hajielewi. It also happens to us grown-ups.
Yeah.
And you will be able to, you'll also see people in town just pointing at this lady, huyu ameharibu nguo, usikae hapa penye alikuwa amekaa, if you sit on these public benches. And they will not even tell you, they're afraid of telling you, but they are shaming you behind their backs. So I do a lot of YouTubing on these topics, and I saw a lady that deliberately, messed her dress, and she was walking in the streets.
Oh, a social experiment.
Yes. And there was a lady and a girl, and the girl wanted to tell the lady, like a 12-year-old girl, that, and the lady in front, you need to check your dress, but the mother pulled her away. No, don't do it. I don't know why. But she just allowed her fellow woman to walk around like that.
To get embarrassed.
To get embarrassed. For reasons that,
it can happen to
you will not
anyone.
help her.
That's sad.
Matter tu ya kumsimamisha umwambia you have a stain.
Yeah, you have a stain. Kama ni skirt, you can turn it around. Kama ni pad, you keep them in the bags and stuff like that. And so on and so forth.
That's so sad.
There was even a campaign that was saying that, when you go to public washrooms, showgrounds, you'll find condoms that are free. Someone was saying if condoms are free, so why can't you have dispensers where a lady can walk into a public toilet, pull one pad, use and go to attend to her businesses.
True.
And we kept on saying, sex is a choice, menstruation is a must.
True.
So we need to change, how we look at these things.
True, very,
Sure.
very true.
Don't you think with the prizes, hivi bado tu niko hapo kwa prizes. With the prizes, mtu hata take advantage tu aende tu akagrasp mingi kwa sababu iko kwa freedom, like achukue tu aumize to the next person. Don't you think?
Kama anachukua mingi zimsaidie, I think it's okay. I have had instances where I give girls pads. We normally give around three packets each for a whole term. The girls we'll go back again after 3 months just to see and visit and see how the girls are doing, and maybe in terms of mentorship, if they're able to implement what we told them. And they will tell you, mama yangu alichukua akatumia, my big sister. And the girl is a young girl and she cannot do anything about it. But I felt that if the mother is happy and the sister is happy, she'll also be happy.
Yeah.
So we have also seen mothers back we focus in the rural areas because we realize town and mostly the parts of slums, informal settlements, they have so many NGOs. So we said, why don't we spread our wings further and reach to where the other NGOs have not reached? So you'll see a lady that will tell you openly and apologetically that she thought pads were reserved for the rich. When she was growing up. She was so accustomed and so used to using to blanket, to shuka, and that was normal to them. So when you give her a pad, she's happy, she'll be looking forward to the next period. She'll be, she wants to walk, and everyone, she's not embarrassed of going to the market, the shopping center, because she knows she's taken good care of down there.
Yeah.
So I think it's also time we change the narrative of how we view our menstruation with or without the pads. Like, we can still make it. We cannot 100% fully give pads all over the country, but at least you can change the story from being embarrassed, being shamed, being stigmatized to a beautiful kind of a story.
Sure.
What do you think?
Something so small but yet so big.
It's so big. Yes.
The period dispenser idea is very smart.
Sure.
You should implement it. We will be there backing
We
you
will
up
try.
fully.
Yeah.
How does period shaming affect girls in school?
Walimu shared a while back and said girls were hiding when he walks into a class. So of course it has everything to do with their self-esteem. Not even young ladies, even ladies in the office. You walk in, you think everyone is looking at you because they think you're on your periods. And even when someone wants to insult you, they'll tell you, unakaje ka una moods kama uko na periods. Yeah, they have.
Ni ukweli. Huyo kuna tana huyo ananyesha.
That is a very common
So that
phrase.
is period shaming. Yeah. And
It's no
yeah,
longer common. That is period shaming.
we have a long way to go in terms of that. We also realized we talked about the prices, and there was a very disturbing YouTube story on Citizen TV. I'll share with you later on, called "Sex for Pads." Young girls were not being able to tell their parents that they were menstruating, and so they would go around to the border people asking for 50 shillings to buy pads. Then in return, they familiarize with these people and they want to, to become friends. Alafu sasa eventually they pay in kind. So it was really disturbing. The girls would say, Mimi siwezi, I don't want to miss classes. I don't want to miss school. And this is a person who has 50 shillings at his disposal, akonazo too. So he'll give me 50 shillings and it's not for free. And at some point, tutapatana na yeye, then I'll have to. So there was a research, it is still being done even now, the relationship between teen pregnancies and lack of sanitary towels. It is yet to be concluded. But there's a link between teen pregnancies and lack of sanitary. Have you watched that documentary?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was, and you see, there was a discussion whether the men are enabling the whole thing. Because you see, I think as a man, when you take advantage of a teenage girl who is 10, 11, 12, I think it is time as men we use our common senses. Because these are our sisters. Like, these are our sisters.
Sure.
They are our future wives.
Yeah.
They are the future wives to our sons. So when you take advantage of a young girl, I think you are not assisting in the cause. You are taking us back. So it was something which was very sad. And it saddens me when I'm actually passionate about the whole thing about period dignity. Even at my place of work, wherever I have gone, I have told boys, it shows when these girls are in their menses, it shows that they are fertile. It shows that they can conceive. It shows that they can bring forth life. So it is something that should be appreciated.
Yeah.
So period stigma is old school. Bana huko tushatoka.
Tushapitwa na wakati.
Unapata? It is so old school, like you can look down on a girl or your girlfriend that she's on her menses. I think it's time that we support them, and at the same time they also have enough information, okay?
Yeah.
So that they are not doing guesswork. They know when this happens, I am almost getting my menses. When I'm in my menses, if it extends for these days, or if I feel this, I know I have a heavy flow. This is what I'm supposed to do. In case I experience such side effects, what am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to talk to? We give them this information. I remember in 2017, I was a class teacher of a girl. She was in class 5. So it was her first time experiencing her menses. So the mother didn't even have a clue that the daughter is mature enough that she might be experiencing her menses anytime soon. So I noticed the first day, she never went out for tea. So I was like, okay. Then the second day I was concerned. Wambui, what's up? You are not going out for tea? Then actually, because we were very close with the learners, so she decided to confide with me that she's in her menses and she doesn't even have pads. It is not that the parents were not well off. Msichana, she's not even free to talk to the mother.
Exactly.
So hezi ambia mama yake. So she told me I'm in my menses, blah, blah, blah. So I took her to the school clinic. I told the school nurse to take care of her. I also called the mother. Actually, I decided to call the mother to make her understand that it is very unfortunate that it is people out there who are finding out that her girl is mature enough. You need to be very close to your daughter to a point where they can open up.
Sure.
Even when they go and mess up there and maybe they engage in irresponsible sex, you should be open with your child to an extent that they can tell you, Mom, nimemes. Mimi nimemes. And they know that nikiambia mom, in as much as they might reprimand me, they are going to walk the journey with me.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I think I am 100% against period shaming.
100%.
Mimi, even like let's say my girl is in her menses. Like that is the time you should be very close to her.
Yes, preach.
Exactly. Tell them.
And
Tell
buy
them.
her chocolates.
Yes.
No, I disagree.
We were going so well.
It's not a must, but I need to be there because I know they are moody. You know, there are those changes. So she's happy this minute, the next minute she might swallow you. You know, you walk the journey together, you know.
Yeah.
And the moment that she understands that my guy knows that I'm experiencing
She'll
this,
have more confidence.
you know,
Yeah,
now it
that's
becomes
true.
something, I would say, normal. It doesn't look like it's odd, you know.
Yeah.
So, period shaming, it's there. It's there everywhere. Everywhere. Kwa matatu, in schools, in those
Workplaces.
one-bedroom houses, bed-sitters, it's there. And it is something that we should be working towards eradicating so that even the girls can now open up, they can talk, they can engage in discussions, they can sit like we are seated.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like you ladies are talking openly. It means that at one point you got empowered. To an extent, you can talk about it boldly.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so we need now to get outside there and talk to these girls.
Sure.
We empower them.
Imagine having you in my corner. I'm so impressed.
Very
Imagine,
impressed.
my dad
This
is so
future.
my dad is so like informed about it. It's a good thing.
It's a really good
For a
thing.
girl
a
to
plus.
actually confide in you about it.
Yeah.
It's a plus, by the way.
yeah.
It's just sini uliamua unataka kulearn about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just wish men could be that open. Because
Sure.
there was a certain time I was seeing a certain guy and he used to period shame me. I used
Like
to feel
openly.
like hata sitaki kumwona nikiwa on my periods. Like hata pad ijatumika ile imefoldiwa. It's just doesn't even want to see
Toa hizi
it.
mavitu hapa.
Yep. And I was at my big age and I was feeling embarrassed about my own periods.
Kwani nadhani watoto hutoka wapi?
Mi sijui. Si unakwambia hivyo tu tumesema tu misinformation. Na hakuna
That is crazy.
hamjui.
Sure.
But it was at my big age I am feeling let me just stay home. Hata kuenda kukula na sitaki kuenda mahali na.
Sure,
You get it? Like it's wrong.
Gonna the days mtu alikuwa anafungua pad huku chini nikaa hizi dawa za
Mi naitoa na naenda nayo.
Kwanza
na
ukitoa kwa bag,
gazeti. When you buy a pad inafungwa
Yangu.
inarushwa kwa gazeti na kama you know
Unapewa
kama
paper
drug
bag.
kama bangi. So these days it's high time we talk about
It's just a
periods.
pad.
Let us be proud of our periods and pave way for our young sisters to know that it's
Yeah.
normal, it will happen to us. And you know,
natural.
statistics say a woman will menstruate for the next 35 years of
Yeah.
her lifetime. So you're going to live with these things you are calling you don't want to talk about for 35 years plus.
I tell my guy friends like, umeona pad? Hapana, sawa kuja nikuonyeshe.
Unawafunza hata hivi ndo nafungangu
Eh,
kupata mtoto.
Yeah.
Like
You have
or a
to know
tampon.
some
You know,
things.
people don't know how tampons look like and everything about it.
You
So I like to
know
my
how
friend,
it
shika sweet.
Yeah.
Kijana amechukua bio. Ako like, na hii siti yako inakaa aje? Nikamwambia, you seriously don't know what you're holding.
Sure.
Ako like, because I had many, ako like, so how does this work? I was like, I like
This
you
is
now.
sad.
Yeah, I like you more because you even want to
You are
know.
eager.
Yeah, you know, so nikamuonyesha vile kwa ako like, I think aliona kitu ajayoona kwa maisha yake. Ako like, sasa hii inaingia kwa mwili yako. You know, the process of, what?
You
Like,
work with something.
how is this thing becoming so tiny then all of a sudden it may bloom, you know? So I like you guys to also be like, kama mko na sisters, just be intrigued to know these things. It's not weird, it's just lifestyle.
natural. Kwanza kukosa ndo itakuwa weird.
Itakuwa
Sindio,
unnatural.
Itakuwa unnatural.
This current
Itakuwa
era,
unnatural.
haujui kuhusu
Correction.
sijui pads, haujui kuhusu like she's going through this and that, because different women go through different things.
Yeah, sure.
Like vile mimi ndafeel si vile yeye atafeel.
Sure.
Ile kenye yeye anataka si the same na mimi. Moods zake si the same. Like it's different. Just the same way we're interested in that football player. Go and research about it.
Periods and pads and
Yes,
women.
na
Yeah.
kujifanya
But
hapa.
I think it's also very important for you ladies who are informed to inform us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when things are okay and you're with your guy, like give him some information. Like you know, the menstrual cycle has 4 stages. This is the first stage. This is what happens when I'm in this stage. This can happen. You know, even I some ladies out here and some guys do guesswork. There's a lot of guesswork.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
because you don't know. Mara, I am ovulating. So like the guy anauliza, so when I am ovulating, sai udem anaweza pata ball. Na the guy cannot ask you. Unaona? So there's that lack of some information. So hata nyinyi muwe mnatuambia. Msitunyime hii information. Niambie.
Nikwambia alafu anze kuniangalia hapa sasa msichana anasema nini?
Sasa hiyo ovulation inamfanya inamaanisha
ananiambia nini?
Yeye mwenyewe
Anangoja safe day.
Do you know, let me tell you, I asked a certain guy a question. So the guy thinks that a lady is in her menses, there's the menstrual stage. So yeye alikuwa nadhani like from day 1 to around day 14 ati a lady ako in her menses for like half a month.
Thank God it's not like that.
You understand? There's a lot of misinformation.
Sure.
They hear that ovulation takes place after every 28 days. So they are like, so then after that. So there should be that information. Ovulation, what happens after ovulation? Then when a lady is having her menses, for how many days? What makes the menses stop? Maybe anaweza kuwa amemaliza siku zake za menses. You know, that information is lacking.
Very vital.
Yeah.
But now, before we even get that information, kwanza tuache kubaguana. Tuache kubagua madem because they're experiencing their menses. You ishapitwa na wakati.
Kwanza hiyo umesema ya the students who even hide. That's just sad. Mimi nimewafeel. At a young age una feel that embarrassed mpaka unajificha.
You find even in the rural areas, some girls will even absent themselves from school. They don't go to school because they anajua I'll be experiencing my menses for the next 3-4 days. Na hana pads. So hataki kwenda shule, a mess. So anakaa wapi? Boys wanafanya nini? Wanasoma shule na si makosa yao. So you find the girl kuna vile ameachwa nyuma na kuna vile atafeel stigmatized because we are humans, you know, and we are social beings. When you are detached from your friends because of something you can't control, there's a kind of way that you are going to feel.
It's mental.
Yeah, it is going
when
to
we were
affect you.
growing up, they used to say that the future is female. So now it's the current that is female. But when you look at it, like practically, you look at the stages of how a woman comes to be in the boardroom, you'll find that at some point she must have been in a classroom somewhere. So that mwalimu is talking about absenteeism. Ndio inafanya kunakuwa na so many gaps into female leadership. Because of course she didn't continue with her education. And when they reach high school, mwalimu was saying that eventually they get bored. So every month, every 3-4 days, I'll be out of school. So what am I doing in school in the long run? Let me go get married. So this from 2 girl gets married. And that is the end of her education. She becomes a young mom. She gets to, and of course, to an older guy. And that marks the end of it. So the fellow students who are boys, wanaendelea na masomo. So when you look up there in the university level, in the corporate level, in the boardroom and everywhere, we have fewer women because we had fewer women back in the classroom. So that is why we are saying our slogan is give, like when we want to fundraise for pads, we say donate a sanitary to keep a girl in school. We want to bridge the gaps from the primary school level all the way to, of course, to university, to the boardroom, to the decision making. So that nobody asks you what you're bringing on the table. I tell guys, don't tell them about the table. I mean, let no one tell you about the table. Tell them you're bringing the wood and the nails to make the table first.
Exactly.
Then, of course, they'll ask you what are you bringing on the table. You tell them I brought the table myself. You sure?
Period.
Sit on the table.
And you see, that is where I also come in. Because you see, actually, we usually have heated conversations with these ladies. Because you see, I believe, and they also agree with me, now we have empowered the girl. Let us also empower the boy. Because you cannot empower the girl by disempowering the boy and vice versa. We understand there is a gap. There are 2 gaps between boys and girls, or male and female. One is societal gap, traditions, culture. There is culture that dehumanizes or makes women feel inferior, you know. Then we also have biological gap. biology has created us different. So there are things that I can do best.
Yeah.
There are things you can do best.
Then a woman can do better what you can do best. We are now working towards bridging the biological gaps, the
Let me tell you,
stereotypes.
the fact is,
No one is
let me tell you,
empowering the boy.
fact is,
Nobody
the fact is, we can never bridge the biological gap. A man will always be a man.
I know, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
A woman will always be a woman. There are things I will be best at. There's things that you will be best
Like
at.
what? Like what?
You get that? How we are created. A man is created to lead, provide.
So women cannot be leaders.
Listen.
I love it.
Listen.
Love this.
Listen. A man is wired
To lead
from the dawn of time to lead, provide,
and
protect.
procreate.
Sawa? And procreate definitely. You understand? So you cannot tell me that I can be in a house
And you're not providing.
where we are having two leaders.
Suppose you're not
You get the
providing.
point? You get the point? No, I'm looking at the
theory
an
part of
ideal
the
situation. No,
theoretical
the ideal
idea.
situation. The ideal situation.
Okay.
A man should lead. The
The
ideal
family.
situation
Yes.
in a family setting or relationship setting, a man should lead.
Suppose there's
man
an
should-
alpha female
A man,
around.
a man should provide. There's nothing like alpha female. That is
We are
that is a
alpha female.
creation of the masses. It doesn't even exist.
No.
Let me tell you, those women who call themselves alpha females, they are so
alpha
bitter with
females.
life.
No. Do we look
It's
bitter?
because they've been forced to.
Not really.
Exactly,
They
because
haven't- they haven't met
they
the
have
men
allowed
who
they have
provide.
allowed themselves to associate with men who cannot lead, who cannot dictate terms. I'm not saying that
So
as
you
a
want
man
to
you should
sit on
dominate
me like
every-
Kalia me.
No,
Very in
No.
short.
no. I'm not saying that a man now should not allow, like a woman has no voice. The voice is there.
Yeah.
But the moment we agree that there are roles that are best performed by men and there are roles best performed by women, mimi ukiniachia mtoi nitamstepo pale kwa wall
Kai.
niende nikawatch Man U
Football.
ama Chelsea, unanipata?
Si wewe
Ama niende
mwachia
kwa
mtoto.
PS. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Unanielewa? Lakini mimi ukiniacha like in this house, uniambie hii ni hao yangu, in a month utapata nimechukua nimeona ile kitu haifai kuwa hivyo, nimepaint mahali fulani. You know,
Naongeza vitu.
I will do those handy jobs, You know,
Yeah, okay.
there are those things.
So you cannot have a leader in the
No.
office who is a
No,
female.
there's always an exemption to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an exemption to the rule. There are women who make the best leaders.
Yeah.
And I actually gave an example just the other day. You were having a conversation, a heated conversation somewhere on WhatsApp. And I gave you examples
You told
of
me.
women who have
Be
who have
leaders.
changed the trajectory of history and stuff. So I agree. And there are also men who are so weak.
That even making a decision on what
Exactly. A basic decision like what to wear.
takes time.
Yeah.
Like you have to ask the woman, "Oh, babe, unataka nivae nini?" Like, bro.
You call them who? You have a name for such.
Like, bro, you are so weak. Like, huwezi decide utavaa nini.
Interesting.
Like, you want to go out somewhere, bro, decide. Kama ni restaurant, decide munaenda wapi. Tell your woman, let's meet, tupatane Java, Moi Avenue. Nimeketi, nikomeza fulani. You know, there are men who are so weak that now women have no choice
But to take
but to
over.
take the
Take over,
leadership
yeah.
roles. You understand?
Yeah.
But the fact is, if the moment that we accept that we are biologically different, and God created us that way so that we can be compatible.
Yeah.
Unapata? Mi niende huko nje, ni hustle, sawa, nilete. You nurture what I have brought.
But these days, a
Sawa.
woman wakes up at 5, the man wakes up at 5, they go both to hustle.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Niende ni hustle, nilete. You nurture, sawa? We have children. Niende nitafutie watoi. Sisemi ati every woman should be a housewife, taking care of babies. But the ideal situation, that is how it's supposed to be. The ideal situation. But in our economies and our areas of life, both of us
It's
have
not
to go out there.
practical.
Sindio?
It is
Yeah,
not.
it's not
Exactly. We have to go out there and hustle.
And hustle.
You get the point?
Yeah.
But there's a way you expect. Hata kama we unasema I'm an independent woman. If you have a man there are things that you expect the man to do. Ni kweli? Hata kama uko na ndai, you can fuel your car, you can pay your bills, there's something you expect. Unasema hii chali yangu anafaa kufanya.
Na chali yangu ikosa kufanya.
Sisi tulisema.
Kweli kama
chali.
Hizo rules sisi tulisema. That is nature. And you if the more we are trying to fight with nature, the more we are losing it.
The gap widens.
We are losing it. So like when you're having a conversation, we have one of our partners, one of the people we are together in the foundation. There's a lady who is an engineer. Right now she's boardrooms with male engineers. So, and I told her, that is a woman who has decided that I'm going to get into this profession that is masculine, so to speak, and I am going to go there and do what other women are not doing. And that is why I say there's always an exemption to the rule. But when we understand our roles in the society, in the family, in relationships, hatutakuwa na hizi disaster.
And what do you think we mean when we say we're breaking the barriers?
There is no barrier. Hakuna barrier. Ceiling. Which is the barrier? Tell me, where is the barrier?
Of course, the stereotypes. You know now here he's talking about the stereotypes.
Barrier iko wapi?
The role, the gender roles.
Where is the barrier? Tell me.
The only thing a woman cannot do is procreate. The rest we can do better, much better. That we can lead, we can make decisions, we can provide. If you fall ill and you were not there and you're bedridden, of course I'll go out and hustle and bring the daily bread.
Sure.
I can protect you.
You are not answering my question.
I can protect you.
Where is the barrier?
The stereotypes.
Barrier iko. Where is the barrier?
Those things you're mentioning.
Hakuna barrier.
About women
Let me tell you,
being in the pulpit.
This barrier, it's us. It is always in the head. Issue a barrier. There is a barrier between men and women in terms of profession, in terms of career.
Like what you say that the biological one.
Hakuna barrier. Hiyo sisi tuliweka. like for example,
Yeah.
God forbid, the fire alarm your building goes off. Yes? What will be my first instinct as a man? Fight. Wewe flight. Ni aje, si ni kweli?
But if there's a baby, I'll of course go back and pick my baby and it's okay.
Your first instinct will be flight.
Sure.
Uta help us screaming. But maybe as a man, I will survey the situation within seconds. There are ladies here. I need to protect. Sawa, I need to know the cause of the what is happening outside there. Me sita hepa kama ninajifahamu as a man. That is exactly what I am talking about.
But you have men who run away.
Sikatai. I said there's always an exemption to the rule.
But that's the majority. A man will hear something outside na ni usiku.
It is not. You cannot say it is the majority.
Wako.
I agree. Actually, we have a pandemic of weak men. You know, weak feminized men. They are there. It is a pandemic,
a disaster,
which is actually very unfortunate. But now, Mimi, you see, for me, I am talking from a point of knowledge. I am talking about myself. What I would do as a man. Mimi, I usually survey the society, you know. I know the trends. I know what is expected of me as a man. I know what is not expected of me as a man. I know I am supposed to protect women. I'm supposed to love them. At home, I'm surrounded. I have, there's my mom, my sister, there are 3 nieces. So nikiwa home, ni madem. You know, there are women who are there. So I understand the value of protecting, respecting women. You understand? But at the same time, I shouldn't lose myself as a man. I should not forget what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. You understand? Because if I forget, you people are going to misuse me.
And also, when we talk about women empowerment, fellow men and boys shall think we are disempowering the boy. We don't disempower the boy at any point, any given time. What we do, we make girls realize the space has so much to offer for them. Their potential, what they can do, what the world has to offer, what books have to offer, and what the society, you know, to break to break the stereotypes that girl cannot excel in sciences, that girls their work there where they only belong to is in the bedroom, making babies and nurturing. So we just want girls to identify their space, to know who they are, to identify with their goals, and of course go and go beyond the sky. The sky is the lower limit. So we do not disempower the boy, and we actually say that an empowered boy, it takes an empowered boy to have an empowered girl. Because when you talk of teen pregnancies, when you talk of period shaming, when you talk of gender violence, they're all caused by the fellow boys. If fellow boys were able to respect girls and women, protect them, we wouldn't be having the issue of, like Mwalimu said, that men are supposed to protect young girls. When she tells you that she doesn't have 50 shillings to buy a sanitary towel, give her. Don't expect anything in return. Check on her in a good brotherly way, not zile macho za kifisi-fisi. Like, we want to know when our periods are ending so that you can, of course, go to the next step. So we want also our boys to be empowered so we can have a balanced society. People keep on saying that, you're empowering the girl more and you're leaving the boy child. We don't leave the boy child behind. We only tell girls to know what the space has in terms to offer, just as to remove the stigma and the barriers that have been set by society, the societal norms that have been there since time immemorial. And then we also have the issue that is ailing the society, the drugs and substance abuse in our boys. So Mwalimu comes in boys and girls.
Youth.
In the youth. See, the one that takes the lead, of course, is the boy. I know. The boys will always, see what he's saying about surveying the situation and want you to be that man. Of course, I'll be the one to take that path for the give it to the girl. The boys will introduce.
That is a perception that was there like 5 or 10 years ago.
It is still there. But it's there.
Sahi hakuna mtu hawezi initiate. Hakuna mtu hawezi initiate. Tembea huku utapata mademu na blunts. Rende ya mademu wameketi wanapiga mablunts. Na hata hakuna mwanaume hata mmoja. Dem ameenda mahali blunt inauzwa akajinunulia. So issue ya drug and substance abuse, it has no gender. Ni vijana. Ni vijana.
Kitambo.
And you see, what's your view on teen pregnancies? Who is to blame? Don't be subjective, be objective.
I feel like both parties. See, we took part, both of us.
What if the girl is 17 and the boy is 24?
What's your Beth, I know what you'll say.
Hapo kiniambia hivyo nitasema it's the boy, because who initiated the conversation?
You'll be amazed to see that the 17-year-old girl is the one who took her set to the boy's house.
But why did also the boy initiate it? Unajua pia kuna manasi zako tu.
They keep on saying men's mind shift from here to wherever parts. When it's that time, it's a point of no return.
That is a very dumb excuse.
Very.
Okay, I
believe it's both, but more so for the girl. The girl is to blame because she's supposed to know a lot of things about herself.
There was an MP that was saying, wewe uko na kitabu. Nikikuomba hii kitabu ni yako. You have the right kuniambia nipatia
ama sitaki.
So I think it's also the girls junior anaombwa.
Na nakubali tu.
But also Mwalimu said about the misinformation and lack of information. Yeah. So
and I also think to interject how we view sex should be different. How sex is viewed, it is viewed as if it's something something like gold. So you are mining it. It's so precious. I don't know whether you'll get this generation. So like I'm trying to put it in a way. So like they get to a certain age. Young people get to a certain age, so they feel without it, I'm kind of incomplete.
Peer pressure.
Perspective.
You understand? So they feel like it's so precious that if I don't have sex, if I don't have a sexual experience, I am not complete. It also comes to lack of information and misinformation. Si tukiwa shule tulikuwa tunaambiwa sex is bad.
It's unholy, it's a bad
sex
thing.
Sex is not bad. It is very good.
But it's overrated at some point.
It is
overrated.
It is.
But we have been told it's something which is very bad, very bad. You should not even. I remember I was beaten when I was in class 3. Class 3. Class 3 on a Saturday.
Hey boy.
We went playing. we went playing with a kastana wa mwalimu. Alikuwa anakaa not very far from where I used to stay. Na mimi nisijue, story ikaisha. Closing. Madhi alinifungia kwa hao, alinichapa. Now, by doing that, aliniharibu to an extent. Because ali-arouse my curiosity.
Mbona nachapiwa yote juu ya hii kitu? What is it?
Unaona?
Yeah.
So nikataka kujua more.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't experiment. Usianza kusema ni experiment. Very.
We'll take
But
your
you
word.
see, such a parent did me an injustice. They can either make you hate it
or love it, or
completely even to all that age,
ama
your curiosity ikupelekea kufanya things that you might regret in the future. So I think how it is communicated, you know, how it is communicated, unapata everything nowadays I see is sexualized. Everything is sexualized.
Everything.
Hata advertisement ya mafuta ya kupika imeweka nyanya kwa kifua.
Niliona there's a I even had
what has nyanya got to do with mafuta ya kupika ati ile funerusho kwa pan?
By then you call everything is sexualized.
I even
sex
had
appeal lazima ikuwe in everything.
There's a advert ya Techno. So the lady who was advertising your phone is sitting on anduthi. Ameinua haga hivi.
Na simu iko nyuma kwa
mfuko. Techno connecting live sijui nini.
Sasa
ina connector.
Like where is the connection between the phone and the bum?
Zero.
Yeah? There's another advert which was very disturbing. Hiyo ilikuwa inanisumbua kichwa every morning when going to work.
Ile mafuta mtu amekouchi.
There was another one ilikuwa pale junction ya T-Mall. Hapo that junction ilikuwa ya Coke. A lady in a bikini
drinking Coke
na soda.
Why?
Sijui kama wanataka kuonyesha relationship ya hiyo chupa yake iko na kiuno na yeye akona, I don't know.
Maybe by the way.
But sasa siweke watu wamehema wametoka kukimbia, unaona ni athletes. They are quenching their thirst. Wana sweat alafu wakona soda imewekwa kwa ice cubes. You get?
Yeah.
So even how I would say the media, how things are advertised, zina contribute. So dem anaona dem fulani kwa billboard ama kwa advert anataka kuwa kama yeye. You know, jamaa anaona anataka, anasema anataka dem kaa huyu. You know. So I think the a lot of misinformation, a lot of loose morals,
sex appeal, the moral fabric is
lack of present parents.
True.
Kwa sababu mimi usema in a normal family that has a father and mother, there is a way msichana akona father mwenye anajitambua atabehave outside there. Hiyo mtakubaliana na mimi. Kwa sababu anajua budangu ni no nonsense. Kuna vitu siwezi fanya. Unapata? Because I know who I'm going home to.
Yeah.
Unapata? But if the father can be there, but he's just there. Yeah, and provide, but
he's just present. He's just there, not
exactly. He's
physically,
not.
He's a man.
He is not in the.
Not a man of the house.
He is in the house, but not in the life of the children.
Of the house. Not
so
in
even
the house.
parenting has also contributed to all these teenage pregnancies and what we are seeing out here. So there should be a lot of information and people to come out and call all this nonsense. Like tusiogope hata kama sisi ni mayuzi. Wacha tuongee. Hiyo ndio kitu huwa hatutaki. Tunataka kuconform na what the society wants us to say. Unaona?
We don't want to be different.
So we want to create even platforms where we can talk openly. Openly. Not worried about who we are going to offend.
Yeah, because why?
And if you are offended, it means you are involved. If it offends you, it means you are involved. You are part of it.
Yeah. I have a question. Do schools these days allow this sex ed? Juu mimi najua nikiwa shule tulikuwa tunaongeleshwa about pads and all that, but ukiingililia sex inakuwa ni immoral. It's not supposed to be talked to kids or to kids.
Mwalimu do teach about sex education.
Mimi, for me, I am not your ordinary teacher. I try to get out of the teacher thing. So even when I'm conducting my lessons, I try to do it differently. So I talk. For me, I talk. Mimi nitaongea. If it is sex education, mi nitaambia watoi real things
vile kunaendanga.
vile iko how,
Si ile
it's, how
tuliambiwa
outside
sex is
here
bad.
how bad it
Hapana.
is outside here.
Yeah.
I tell them, I told you I teach in a Muslim school. There's a lot of your religion in a, like you don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, wazazi Muslim parents can never talk to their children about sex.
Sure.
They can never
Actually,
sit
even
and talk to their
parents in
children about
general,
how
it's very
hawawezi.
few.
They cannot.
Eh.
So imagine mimi nikose kuwazungumzia about sex.
Wataenda
Sure,
wafanye
they'll-
wachukue
Unanipata?
wafanye.
Huyu mtoi amalize
That's
aende the next level.
Yeah.
Maybe aende high school ama aende campus atoke kwao.
Eh,
Huyu mtoi atakuwa very much confused.
sure.
Unapata? Atakuwa very confused. So for me, we try. Nowadays it's there, even in the designs, curriculum designs, the syllabus, it's there.
That's nice.
But I'm afraid I don't know whether how I do it.
It's the right way.
No. For me, I don't care how whether it is right. I do it my way.
Yeah.
You're
As long as I'm
afraid
passing the message and there's an
It's
impact,
clear.
message is
then
home.
I am contented as a person.
Yeah.
So I think to answer your question, I think teachers should up their game.
Yeah.
But during our
True.
mentorship, we also tell the students about sex. We talk to them about it, like bluntly. We tell them the consequences. You know, you're as a result of the choices you make in life. And you're as a result of the habits you have picked in life. So if I wake up every day to jog, after 6 months you'll see a difference in my body, because of course I've made a habit of jogging every morning.
Yeah.
If I'm a smoker every single day, you'll see after 6 months with my dry skin and so many other diseases because of the habits I've picked up. So if you're immoral and you're a girl and you have engaged into, you know, premature sex, and you'll see consequences. And we conduct Q&A to the girls and the boys. And Mwalimu can tell you what we get. We tell them it should be anonymous. Anything you want to ask us.
Interesting.
So 90% of the questions girls ask, I don't know about the boys, but the girls ask about relationship. There's one that has a boyfriend and there's one that has a sponsor. There's one that wants a phone and there's one that has a phone from a certain broker. You know, we do it in a rural setting. So there's too much relationship happening because girls want to reach to a certain level they cannot afford and their parents cannot afford. So we tell them that everything you do, you know, it will have a consequence. And if you want to be the driver of the car, like they see me driving and we ask them, which side of the car would you want to be coming out? The driver's side or the passenger side? Kila siku unabeba na huyu driver yako boyfriend. And you don't know what happens when you're not in that car, who he carries in that car. So what do you want to be? One day you want to own a car and be the driver of your car, or you want to be forever, you know,
Passenger
kuwa
princess.
tu umebebwa. So they say unataka kujibeba, but then again there are things you need to do to reach to a certain level.
Yeah.
And the most unfortunate thing about life and about girls is that when you get pregnant and when you have a baby in Form 3 or in Form 4, this boy will go to university, will go to higher level, and will get a girl of his class.
Yeah.
So according to him, you'll be a girl of lower level.
Lower level.
And one day he didn't even have sleep over you. Unajua siwezi lala, I was thinking about you.
Oh, God.
So we had a mentor and I was telling them that, you know me, I am married. Every day I sleep next to my wife and it's not every day we have sex. So sex is just, Mwalimu said, it's something meant for married people or people in serious relationships. So for you right now, what you need to focus on is your education so that it can get to the next level.
How to better yourself.
To better yourselves.
Yeah.
And for girls, I tell them there are stages in life. There's education. Education until you wear a degree, and then one day you'll wear a ring, and then one day you'll sit in an office. If you skip this gown one day and you don't wear this gown, you'll not be able to sit in an office. So if you wear a maternity dress before you wear, it marks the end of your life in terms of
It takes
ambitions
longer.
and goals.
Yeah.
You'll now move to a different route in terms of what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So, and I keep on asking, and I ask them in class, what do you want to be when you grow up? They tell me, I want to be an accountant, I want to be a nurse. What do nurses do? Like, you need to know what they have done until they got there and where you're doing it wrong as a girl. So there's a lot that needs to be talked about. I'm a mother to teenagers, and I know it is not easy to bring up teenage girls. One is 19 years old, the other one is 15 years old.
Wow.
They can get moody. They can decide not to talk to you. They can decide, today I'm just there.
Sijiski.
Si vibe na wewe
Si
leo.
vibe, sikuski, But again, there's no manual to that. It's just a day at a time.
Yeah.
And parenthood is good. Sex is good. Done with the right person at the right time with the right moment. But not when it's abused.
In the situations where mnafanya campaigns,
Yeah.
what are some of the challenges you guys go through as a team?
They're quite a number. Once when you were growing up, we said it takes a village to bring up a child.
Yeah.
So we're only doing it from one end. Like, don't do this. Hey, my name is Beth. Hey. Once they go home, they get a different story. They get a different version of life.
Yeah.
So, but if you are able to bring parents on board, the society, like the men hapo watu wanduthi wenye wako tu hiyo area on board, and the students. So you are addressing everyone, for everyone to see and to know it's a circle. If you don't play your part, someone else will play that part, but in the wrong way, and someone else will be affected. I'll be a victim of the part that did not play.
Yeah.
So parents, take care of your children.
Yeah.
Not even just your children. Hata watoto tu wa jirani ukiona wanakosea. And then also these people, once they ask you for 50 shillings for sanitary, wapatie. Hii watu wanduthi ukiona kijana wa shule akivuta sigara or bangi, take action. Nyorosha ukieza. Tell the headmaster, tell the teacher, tell the parent. And you students can also play your part. So that is one of the biggest challenges. Number 2, we also realize that there's a lot of internet happening, the phones, they misinform the students. And you'll tell them this, they'll go and see a TikToker has done ABCD, and they're famous because, of course, they're young and they smoked online and nothing happened to them. They're getting those stars. Personally, I don't know how to use TikTok. And, they're becoming famous overnight because fame, apata. We were having a discussion, and, we say that bad things attract, bad things trend faster.
Yeah.
So they want to be in the bad side so that they can trend fast. They want overnight fame.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't
You
work
work
like
for
that.
it.
I don't know
Work for
Mwalimu
it.
what he goes through when he's mentoring the boys. Maybe you can tell us
Yeah.
even his question and answers.
Yeah.
The Q&A session with the boys.
I think boys, there's a lack of role models, especially for the boys. We have very few men outside there in the society. There are 2 ways. The men who are successful have not put out a picture that can be emulated. You get the point, eh?
Yeah.
So there is nothing that is an incentive to the young boys, or some areas we don't have these role models. So these boys are doing trial and error. They are doing what their fathers are doing, their uncles, their cousins, their brothers. And if those brothers are doing the wrong thing, they will do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I usually have a very clear message to the young men because I'm passionate about the young men. For me, I was brought up in church. Up to the age of around 17. That is when I left home. And I started living alone and doing my stuff alone. So I tell young men to chase their goals, not girls. I remind them that as a man, chase your goals. When you achieve your goals, women will come.
Yeah.
You will actually have a choice. You will not even need to chase them.
Because women want the stuff.
And you see, you will get a woman who has value. You will, if you have value, you will attract value.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
So they chase but now young men want to chase girls, and they sacrifice their goals.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
They sacrifice their goals. So mimi nataka kwenda kuhustle, lakini ati kwa sababu there is a lady who I want to take out and maybe it is nothing established. It is a random girl. Tunaenda to have fun. Instead of sitting down on my laptop and doing some online job, I make a few dollars. Unaona? Nitengeneze maisha ya 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Then I also tell men, and this applies even to ladies, in whatever you do, stand out. Stop fitting in.
Yeah.
Stop fitting in. Be the one with the luminous green shirt or whatever. shout.
Sure.
You know, if people are saying this is how we are going to do things differently, as long as it is legal.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be accepted in the society. As long as it is legal and morally upright, do it. Stand out. The moment you fit in, that is when you will find yourself not even challenging yourself in life, because you want to fit into a certain group. You don't want your clique of girls or boys to say that umeanza kuringa. You know,
sure.
You want to mind other people's business, and you know, everyone is minding their business.
Yeah.
They got nothing to do with you.
Yep.
Everyone is minding their business.
Sure.
So I think to win this war, we need to work. Boys, girls, young men, young women, we work together.
Sure.
Information should be given out.
Yeah.
I would tell men to come out. If you feel like you have a passion for these young boys, I rarely see like men going out there to schools talking to these boys. Who will talk to them? Who will marry our daughters? The same daughters we are saying we want period dignity. Who will marry them? Yeah? Who will marry them? If we bring up disempowered boys, who is going to take care of these girls?
Sure.
Who will take care of the society? Who will build, you know? Because men are builders. Naturally, men are builders. They are builders. So I think it is about time that we worked together and we support such organizations.
Yes.
Yeah?
Very true.
Not only materially, even physically. Let us be part of these initiatives.
Yeah.
What will we be counted for when we die? We kufa utasema, but if you change a generation, those who changed the generations, they were nothing special. They just decided to look at things differently,
Go against the
to do
grain.
to do things differently, to stand out. You know?
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
Mi sijui kama naweza kuwa nayo moyo yenu. I don't know, maybe some sijui uamke tu unaamua kufanya kitu kama hiyo. Like whatever you guys have decided to do, hauwezi tu amka tu unaamua. It takes a lot.
You have to have passion
It
for
takes
this.
a lot. Yeah. And congratulations to what you guys are
Thank
doing.
you.
Najua si
It's a
kila
very
mtu
good
huku nje ako na good intentions ama they just want to help. Everybody is out for their own. So congratulations on what you guys are doing.
Asante.
Thank you.
I have a
beautiful.
question.
Yes.
Has the government tried to help in spreading this news, or like just buying a few pads to give to schools, or in any way at all?
You know, the government is you and me. The government is a name. I think we have specific people for specific roles.
Okay.
So I think if you'd ask maybe the women rep or the MC or the people in power.
Mm.
We've had people that have supported us, yes, very well. We asante sana. And also we've had individuals and companies that have come through for us. So we are grateful for the support.
Okay.
Yes, and corporates as well.
And how can one be part of your team, like as a volunteer?
Yes, you can come in as a volunteer.
Yeah.
You can also register as a member. One year membership. We say since we're in the process of fundraising, you register with 5,000 shillings. You get the privilege of selecting a school of your choice that you'd want us to mentor.
Oh, wow.
And also you get a free t-shirt. And
nice.
the membership is renewable every year on an annual basis.
Okay.
5,000 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that person will be included when you go to schools.
Yes, when you go to schools, if they're available, because I'm assuming most would want to be members, maybe as students or people in the offices.
Yeah.
But at least they'll get a chance to nominate a school of their choice, even if it's a school that they went to. We can do it
that's nice.
twice in their 1 year time. Yes.
And for those who don't really to be volunteers or members but just want to support, how can they support?
We have an active pay bill number. It's a pay bill, not a till number. The pay bill number is 181344, and the account name is Save. Yes.
Okay.
The name that will come down there is just Girl Aid Foundation. Yes.
You can send something and help a girl child somewhere.
Sure.
Ukisikia wataka kukunywa chrome, kata. Hiyo 300 tuma.
300 ni pad sita. Pad
See?
sita ni za miezi sita. Have an ear.
Yeah.
Uweke msichana shule.
Ukweli, by the way. Okay.
You're doing a really good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're also honored to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Asanteni. mlitupataje? Ni wewe ndo mlitupataje by the way? Ni wewe?
Nilikuwanga Naivas nikapatiwa ka brochure.
Oh.
And I was very interested. I was like, this is nice.
Sure, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for honoring our invite.
Asante.
Yeah, we will be part of you as
Absolutely.
well. Mimi nakuja kwa member vibaya sana. We shall
Thank you.
preach and preach.
Yeah, kama
until
Zoza,
ingie.
even
Yes,
us, we want
yes.
to do better. Sindio? As a
Yes,
person, yeah.
Yes.
Plus, we've also learned so much from you guys.
So
I was
much.
intrigued by the way to hear from a man's perspective,
As well.
mostly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mm.
And I loved it. Mi nimeipenda.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we finish?
I'll just say, let us be our sisters' keepers.
Mm.
And it takes a village to raise a child. We are having a generation. You know, someone was telling me that Gen Z stands for zombie. I don't know how true that is. But again, we are having a generation that doesn't look like it knows its direction. They don't know where they are headed to, if they are coming, gone, or going or gone. So it's our duty for us who know exactly what is happening in the society to guide and mentor and be our sisters and our brothers' keeper. Let us take it, like, you know, back in the days, if your auntie saw you doing something wrong, they would chapa you there. I mean, I'm not saying you beat them, but of course, let us correct.
Yeah.
You see a young girl in a club with an old mzee, don't congratulate her. Tumeangukia mbuda, you know, you're doing well. Can you just tell them the truth and tell them, you know, this man has her life put together. So you are a young girl and he's wasting your time. He's only interested in sleeping with you and buying you a few drinks and giving you a few thousand shillings that are not sustainable.
And
you have a long future ahead.
Yeah.
So let us hold our younger brothers' hands and our younger sisters' hands and change the narrative and change the generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very sure.
For me, I can talk and talk and talk and talk.
Feel free.
But I have a few things. Number one, we have a dysfunctional society right now. And we are the cause. We cannot run away from that. It is the responsibility of all of us. The young, middle age, the old. It is the responsibility. Everyone should play their rightful role. Okay? The young people should understand that there is tomorrow. You don't live once, you live every day.
Yeah.
Okay? We understand that we have a responsibility. In the society, there's a legacy that we need to keep. The future generation is looking up to us. So I would call out even parents to be near perfect role models to their children. Let them be present. Let them understand their children. Yeah? Some of the things we experience out here, we once went to a place, mtoto ameandika I am HIV positive and I don't know how to tell my parents. So ako HIV positive na hata mzazi hajui. Anajua ako HIV positive.
They're on drugs, they're on drugs.
Ako on drugs na ako HIV positive, hajui how ata break the news to the parents. So now tell me, such a situation, how are we supposed to deal with it?
Unaanzia wapi?
Huyu mtoto hajaambia mwalimu, hajaambia mzazi, ameona mentor amekuja, they have opened up to the mentor. So how am I going to start now telling the parent?
And they have done it
You get the
anonymously, so you do not know who that child
Now
is.
this is a girl who is 16, 17, or a boy, because I didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl. Sasa huyu mtoto hujui ameambukiza wangapi. Are you getting the point? So there are things which are going on behind the scenes that we are just overlooking. Tunasema tu, we are going with the wave. Tuache kwenda na hiyo wave. Yeah? Let us, for the Christians, let us desist all ungodliness. And the Bible also says in the book of Proverbs that bad company corrupts good morals. Yes. So young people should check who they associate with. It's better to be alone than to be in bad company. Yeah. And they should not forget that there is tomorrow. There is tomorrow. Hiyo kitu tunafaa tujue. There is tomorrow. And we are responsible of everything that we do. Choices have consequences. Choices have consequences. If young people want to succeed, they prepare today. Waswahili walisema, nikimalizia, that maisha ya leo yaliundwa jana. Kwa hivyo maisha ya kesho yataundwa leo. So what needs to be done today, let it be done today. So that we prepare for tomorrow. If we never prepared for this podcast, yesterday we wouldn't be here. You get the point? So let us know that there is tomorrow. I always insist, there is tomorrow. There is tomorrow. You engage in that unprotected sex, there is tomorrow.
Okay.
There are a lot of things waiting for you.
Yeah.
STIs imekuangalia hivi, unwanted pregnancy, na tuondoe hiyo tag ya premarital sex. Sex is sex. Whether you engage in sex at 13, at 14, at 20, at 30, sex is sex.
And the same
So we deal
consequences
with
occur.
not having sex or having sex as
Either way.
exactly that. There's nothing like preteen sex, premarital sex. No. If it is done at the wrong time, it is bad.
It is bad.
It is bad. To let us not sugarcoat.
Yeah.
Let us be very raw with information to these young people, because God has given us the opportunity to say it. Let us say it.
Let us make use of the opportunity.
Exactly. And thank you for inviting us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
so
much.
much for honoring us.
Mimi, on my personal capacity, I would want to come back and have conversation with you people.
Again and
I
again.
have a lot
We
to
will
say.
do that. We will arrange.
Yeah.
Do you have social media pages that people
Kama
can
Facebook,
reach?
YouTube,
Facebook,
any channels.
We have a Facebook page, a very active Facebook page called Girl Aid Foundation. I think it's the only page. You can also follow me. I hear they're monetizing accounts.
Yeah.
Yes. Beth Waruguru. That's my
Your personal.
my
account.
personal account on Facebook. I have a similar account on Instagram. It's still Beth Waruguru. And also Instagram account for Girl Aid Foundation that is not very active like the Facebook one. And also the former Twitter X is still Beth Waruguru, at Beth Waruguru.
Okay.
I'm Chege Kamau on Facebook. My Instagram was taken
By
because of saying these things which I'm saying, because of having a very having unpopular opinions.
they banned you.
They banned me,
Oh my
but they
Legend.
forgot.
You're a
So they took my Instagram. So I'm not on IG, but I'm on Twitter, X at Chege Kamau. Chege Kamau too. Niko hapo.
He didn't
Utaniona
tell
tu
you
hapo.
that he's a fitness enthusiast.
Yes, I do fitness.
Yes.
I'm actually pursuing some diploma in fitness science.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Wow. Wish you all the
I am
best.
into fitness. Like I am into fitness. Yeah, let me
So when
just
you want to a
story of
personal
another
trainer,
day.
yeah, that's the
Story
story
of
of
another
another day.
day.
Our
Okay.
personal
Yeah.
mini
So
interests.
I'm grateful. It was
We are
was
too.
an evening well spent
Sure.
from
An
the
afternoon,
outside the office.
Kama mnarudi tunafanya controversial topics.
Yes.
Yeah,
Si
let's
leta
disturb the
hizo
internet.
Absolutely.
hizo.
Funny.
Vijasai lazima
Tuna warm up,
warm up.
kwanza.
There's always
Hapa, no
actually
filters.
No
kuna
filters.
steps.
Yeah. Hii ni
Yeah.
kama
We are growing.
tunajuana.
Na-
Sasa tushajuana.
I hope and pray that this conversation is going to grow you.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I grow Girl Aid Foundation na you grow.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
na mkigrow, the directors also grow and the
Yeah,
producers.
sure.
Yeah, so
Very true.
at the end of the day, tuna benefit. There's benefit
There's a circle of
Everyone
benefit.
is winning.
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
Now, then the greatest impact is to the society, the people we are talking
youth.
to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. For us, there's also podcasts everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook atukole.
Kufanya nini? Wewe sikumbuki kutumia Facebook.
No, you don't trash Facebook, and you are saying you are on IG, but you are trashing Facebook, and they are joined by the hip.
With the Facebook, let me tell you, Facebook ina passing information in a way hata uwezi amini.
Yep.
Hata
Kweli.
because most people
Okay,
are on
the
Facebook.
only problem
Most
with
people are on
Facebook,
Facebook.
Mimi, I don't fear they can even take it. The one
So that one
I
on WhatsApp.
ichukua tu. They will censor unpopular opinion,
Yeah.
but they will not censor nudity.
Double
And
standard.
They'll have a lot of double standards. So why you should use censor? Because I say something controversial like men should lead, men should submit, you know, depending on the context.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the context.
Yeah.
Why should you censor that? But unataka kunionyesha ads. AI inataka kunionyesha ads za Dema Kondevi.
Sure.
By the way, it makes sense.
It makes sense at all.
Unapata? So hata hiyo kama wanaitaka.
Chukue.
Kwende nayo.
Chukueni. tutanunua account.
Hata
Ukiingia Zoza utapata zetu hapo.
Tuna drop bangers.
Bangers after bangers. But thank you so much.
You're
Umenifundisha vitu mingi sana.
Thank you.
haya.
Thank you.
The next one will be
Come back
hotter.
again.
Yes,
It has
ndio.
to-
Inshallah.
Hotter.